Hi, my name is Duduza Mthethwa. I come from a family that didn't believe in Jesus Christ. And I remember asking my granny, why don't you ever mention Jesus? And my granny told me that Jesus is just for white people. And I remember like having this beautiful family where I stayed with my granny and my cousins and all of that. And it was really good. When I was like 10 years old, my uncle killed my brother because they believe that when a young boy is being killed and they take like different parts, body parts, and mix that with muti, you can get rich. That year, December, my dad was killed, murdered from work. They got hijacked in the car and he was killed with 7 bullets in his chest and thrown in the river. And I remember hearing that and I just couldn't believe that my dad, whom I really loved a lot and I really got close to, is normal. And my dad really loved sports, and so I fell in love with sports because this was the only thing that I can connect to that my dad loved. At the age of 16, when I was doing grade 11, I found out that my mom had cancer. I remember walking, because I was in a girls' boarding school. I remember walking in the corridors at school, talking to God, and I was like, God, please don't take my mom away, because I'm only 16, I'm the firstborn at home and I won't be able to take care of my siblings. During my final year at high school, my mom passed on, and I remember having this anger towards God, that people talk about God protecting, his people and all of that, but he's not protecting me from pain and just losing my parents. And I remember saying that clearly he has favorites and I'm not one of them. 3 months after my mom died, they broke into our house and they stole everything from food to clothing. And there was an aunt that was taking care of us. They raped her in my own bed. I couldn't understand. I couldn't connect to the feelings. It was just a dry feeling that I couldn't connect to. And I felt like slowly I was just, drawing away from joy and happiness. The following year, I decided to go study, and I went to University of Johannesburg. And that very same year, I made the university South African team. And in that year, I had a boyfriend. At the end of the year, he also passed on in a car crash. And I remember just getting bitter and angry at the world and not understanding what was going on, really realizing that I was not in control. But the only thing that I thought I was in control of was soccer. So 2009, we went to the National Club Champs, played really good, like in my tournament I really did well, but only to find out that I wasn't called for the national team. And that broke my heart, because I realized that I can't control everything. And I thought sport was my world, I was good at it and I could control it, but somehow it fell apart as well. And in that time, my friend realized how broken I was, and she asked me if I could go to church. She had always talked about Jesus, but I would just shut her out and be like, you have every reason to talk about Jesus because you have parents that love you. They even provide for you at school. I struggle with groceries and all of the other personal needs that I had. I remember going to church and just entering. People are so loving and so friendly, and it was just so foreign to me to see young people so happy. And I remember walking down the aisle and I was like, I don't know if you do exist, God, but if you do, I want to know that you love me. So I decided to go to a conference in that church, and there was a pastor visiting there. And he just pointed me when I was sitting down after our worship, and he was like, you come here. I looked at him, and just to make sure that he was pointing at me. And then I went to him, and he looked at me, he's like, God loves you. That broke my heart, broke every wall that I had built around me. And from that moment, I realized that there's someone that listens when I talk. But then there was a why part. Why, if you exist, why didn't you protect me from all the hurt and pain? So I continued going to church, and I started, having this interest of reading the Word. And on the 27th of April, 2009, I was in my room and I read through the Bible, how to receive the Lord. And I felt like this connected to what I needed. I needed, to be set free and to understand that there's someone that loved me and died for me, and that wants to have a personal relationship with me. So in that moment, I prayed to receive the Lord. There was just I can't explain it. There was just weight that was taken out of my shoulders, and I felt light, and there was just so much joy. AIA played a huge role in just the Bible studies, the one-on-one discipleships, and I realized that I'm loved, that there's brokenness in the world, and Christ came to, deliver us from all the hurt and pain, and, gave us hope to focus on, the things of the kingdom, and use my sport especially to glorify God and to use the gifts that I have for the kingdom. Immediately after graduation, I decided to intern with AIA, and the rest is history. Now I'm leading AIA South Africa as a national director. It's a great thing just to be part of AIA and to be used by God in sports.